Star date 0208202013.2. Starship Excelsior's log NCC 77248. So, for some of you curious, we got a hold of Chloe's mom last night and today because we're trying to coordinate her leaving. And fortunately, the problem is Chloe's mom is basically we had a roadblock. We contacted everyone yesterday in Arizona and Nevada, Pennsylvania, and Ohio. Roadblock is Chloe's mom would have to take care of Chloe. Chloe's mom doesn't want to do that, but we're still working on options. I got meetings Tuesday and Wednesday for Chloe to leave. So in the meantime, what I've done to control and quell the combativeness and grouchiness and angerness is I decided to go ahead and get the expansions for Guild Wars 2, which surprisingly, they're really challenging. I mean, I've been focusing on that so much. I mean, literally, my mind's been focusing on slaying demons, and Goonies, and then all of a sudden I'm thinking, oh yeah, I'm high enough up, I can mow this thing down. Turns out I couldn't. I turned around and I failed. So to me, Chloe's like, isn't it harder? Isn't it challenging? And I'm going, and then some of the problems with it is when we join up. The problem is we have a problem with what do you call it? The first area is where I have to do the missions by myself, which is bad because I don't want to go up against something that's too hard. I don't mind having backup like Chloe, but it wasn't bad at all, So, anyway, so one of the things I wanted to share with you was that I decided this morning, I got up. Chloe's like, we gotta go to the food bank. And I'm going, whatever. Right? So I was complaining about the food bank. So I got up, made some coffee, and read the Bible because I told Chloe as long as she's here, we're reading the Bible every morning. She said, okay. So, lo and behold, I read her some Bible scriptures. I turned around and I decided afterwards to get dressed. And then she was getting mad, and I said, "Don't get mad. I just don't know where I left my keys. I have a problem with leaving my keys. I'm kind of forgetful, to a point of no return." So I looked at Moppy, and I could see in Moppy's eyes. He's like, "Hey, I gotta go, but your keys are in your robe." So I went to my husband's robe. Lo and behold, ding, ding, ding. I was like, oh, it's in the robe. So I got the thing in the robe, grabbed the keys, went out the door, went to the food bank. And we got there and we're talking to a guy talking about Nevada and Colorado, and other guys from New York. He's like, yeah, I've been here so long. He says, you girls love it here. And I go, yeah, it's peaceful. And then, Chloe's talking about moving out and stuff. And lo and behold, we go in and the lady's like, oh, do you need this? Do you need that? I'm like, okay. She came to meats. I was like, Chloe's like, you can choose the meats. I'm like, well, I like bacon and the sausage ain't that good. And the lady's like, oh no, we're out of bacon. I said, she's like, I can give you some hamburgers. I'm like, nah, I'll take some hot dogs. I've been craving hot dogs lately anyway. So it was like, here you go. So I leave, and I'm going, and Chloe and I are talking, and she's like, so where do you want to go? And I go, well, I need to go by the hardware store. I want to get some stuff to clean the bathroom, cleaning supplies. She said, oh, that's a good idea. I'm like, yeah. I can't just sit there and sit on it and procrastinate. I can't just be lazy, so I went and did it. And then when I went ahead, I went to the place, got some more dip, and she's like, when you want me to go to get the dip, go off island to get dip, I said, I'm going to try to do it Thursday. She's like, oh yeah, that's great. And I go, yeah, it is. And I said, I just placed an order for toilet paper. And so I decided afterwards, I was like, you know what? It's a sunny day. It's beautiful. Maybe we'll spend a little extra time out. She's like, oh yeah, okay. What are we going to do? I said, I don't know. Let me think. So we went over to my coffee shop that I go to, and I sat down. The lady looked at me and she says, "Hey, what's up?" I go, not much. Just want some coffee. Yeah, I'll take 2 mochas for myself. Chloe can have a peanut butter cup. Chloe sat down, and lady over at Orcus and Lopez and is talking. Nun from Shaw. We're all just sitting there talking, and the nun's like petting Moppy, and Chloe says, "So, what do you want to do?" And I go, "Well, after here, I think I'm going to go by the pet store, And I went over there, and I know the owner. And she's like, "I love when you come in, Rita. You always have some wisdom to say. And I'm getting over a sickness." So I talked to her for a few minutes, and then afterwards I was like, "Yeah, you know me, I like to give local business if I can. I don't like going off the island." She says, "No one does. Yeah, that's where Amazon comes in." And I said, "Yeah, but I don't like buying my hay and pellets through Amazon. I can do it cheaper, but I'd rather get on a beautiful day like today where it's not miserably raining, go out and buy uh, pellets." So I went in there and I got Ebony his stuff again, making sure, because in the winter time it's miserable, She's like, "So do you have a bunny sitter?" And I'm like, "I might call Tanya, or ask the neighbor to watch Ebby while I'm out. I have a neighbor that's willing to watch Ebby too." So it wasn't bad, it wasn't bad at all. So neighbor's like, "Oh, for 2 days, yeah, sure. Here's $50, no problem, right?" So, anyways, you guys are probably wondering what this roadblock is. So, this is a brief video. I got projects to do today. It's a beautiful day. I want to get the house clean because Chloe's still leaving. Her mom's got some problems on her, and so I'm still willing to buy the ticket. Her mom's like, "Don't do it yet. Go talk to the advocates." Problem with the advocates is I've been in touch with the advocates, and the advocates turned around and said, "Look, if you can't do it, you got to keep Chloe. You might as well keep her Social Security appointment. You're this close to freaking getting approved. Why throw it away now, And I'm like, "Well, I'm kind of skeptical." And she's like, "You're skeptical on everything. You're like that little bunny, You're basically skittish." Well, what happened was she turned around and the advocate said, "We'll meet up Tuesday and Wednesday." But I talked to the advocate yesterday, and I told the advocate we made all these calls to all these places in Nevada, Arizona, California. We even did that one just for fun, um, and Ohio and Pennsylvania, and it all came back to 90 to 180 days to get her put into a housing, out there. So basically what it is it's like, "Well, you're not from around here, so we have to put you on the back burner for someone who truly needs the help." So the advocate's like, "Well, I knew it was a long shot, but at least we tried." So Chloe's mom turns around and says, "Look, you're this close to getting disability. You might as well try to apply for it and then go to Wenatchee." I know it's going to be hard, but I think with Rita's you and Rita playing that video game, watching movies, and doing your chores, you're getting close to the point where there's no, no problems. So I went out last night, and like I said, I got the game, I downloaded it, the expansions, I paid for it. And they're like, "Okay, you're unlocked. 4 days, you can do these things, and 3 days for these things, and this time." So I asked Chloe about the other items, and she's like, "Yeah, it's not worth it." Chloe's been playing for like 6 years, so it's like, "Yeah, it's not worth it." To me, I played 3, but it took me 3 years to complete the entire vanilla project, which is all free. And then, I paid for the 2 expansions. Again, you buy Path of Fire, you get Heart of Thorns for 3. I should have got it. I downloaded it a few days before. I paid for it yesterday because I could have got a 50% off. Me, I'm a tight wad. If I can save a few bucks, I will. But lately, I've been, I was following family's advice and just ordering stuff on Amazon and dealing with their sales tax. Because I was gonna get a PO box, but I don't think I want a PO box with toilet paper. And my advocate was like, "Yeah, don't bother with it." So I basically did this morning, I basically went ahead and I tried going by the post office. They were closed. So I was like, "Yeah, Chloe, I'll have to go by the post office, get a stamp." I got a letter to write to Jose, and I'll send him another Valentine's card. And then I said after that, I want to pick up a couple small boxes of chocolates for the advocates again. They've been helpful so much. I mean, the chocolates ain't that expensive, but the main thing is they've been helping me out a lot, over there, even though it's their wheelhouse and the social workers, they've been helping me out immensely because, I mean, literally, I mean, I just can't believe, that they're like, oh, yeah, we got a medicine program. Why don't you tell me? Oh, well, we didn't think you needed to know. And then she's like, we got this new doctor that we're setting people up with. You want to go through this doctor? They can help you. I'm like, yeah, if I don't have to leave the island and the doctor's trustworthy, yeah, I'll sign myself up. Cool. We'll set you up with new therapy lessons. Contact my therapist. Told her what was going on, and she's like, oh, don't worry about it. My therapist and Poppy and everyone's just like, it was just funny. Now, I had one of my friends who I did a wedding for, Melissa messaged me, and she was asking if I was alive or dead. And I'm like, I'm alive. I did something stupid and deleted Facebook by mistake, because I was angry, and it's my fault on the Facebook part. But, I mean, literally, I'm living with it. But, I'm not going to dwell on it. So when I was at the pet store, I want to share this with you. I went ahead and bought a bunch of these. They were like 50 cents each. And I got these little beef sticks from Moppy. They're made with 100% USDA grade chicken. So the lady and I were most talking about, I told her, what I found out about Ebony eating poo. And she's like, oh, yeah, bunnies are funny creatures. You need to buy the little backpack and carry him around in your backpack one day and just bring him in so I can see him. And I'm like, you know what? It might be worth the $50 for the backpack, but I just don't want to keep him just in a backpack. He should be, a little bit free. He might eat on a sunny day, a little Ebony, So anyways, back to my story. So last night I decided to start Guild Wars, the Heart of Fire, Heart of Thorns, and Path of Fire. I started the Heart of Thorn storyline, and I gotta say I'm pretty interested. The enemies are stronger, and really it's fun. And now I'm working on gliding. Chloe's like, you need to get your gliding. I kept dying yesterday, but that's expected. You're sitting there and you're running away from an enemy that's overpowering you by like 9 of them. Your bear is doing damage, and next thing you know, you're falling off a cliff going. But then I finally went into my arsenal of junk that I had accumulated, and I sold a lot of junk anyway. So I was like, but anyway, so what happened was, after we went to the pet store, I decided, you know what? It's a sunny day. I want to get a little bit of fish and chips. Chloe's like, you see, usually I never went and did these things. I've always been nagged. Oh, you're going to do that. But, I went ahead and I got some fish and chips. I got everything coming in from Amazon. So to me, I was like, you know what? I just want to get a little bite to eat. It's sunny. And I frankly, was happy as hell to do that, And I got ribs tonight to be barbecued. I'm barbecuing ribs tonight, so I don't have any problems, but it was interesting. So back to the roadblock. So they're saying 90 to 180 days. So we talked to the Social Security lady and said, she's like, see, you're going to have roadblocks, And so Chloe's mom, we talked to her this last night and this morning. She's like, this morning, Chloe talked to her grandmother. Grandmother's fine out of the hospital. They're going to put her in a nursing home for a while in Steubenville. So she's like, don't come home yet because, you're this close to getting disability. Why throw it away to try to get a job when you can't handle a job? And, and so Chloe's like, well, we got to talk to the advocates. The advocates basically said, look, there's nothing we can do. If you contacted all the places in Pennsylvania, pretty much the housing places and the homeless shelters and everything. And Grandpa said, well, why don't you try Oregon? No, that's all right. We won't try Oregon, frankly, because, Grandpa ain't going to be in charge anyways. And I frankly, think it's not a good idea. I mean, look, Oregon's got their own laws anyways. And frankly, the Oregon people shouldn't be paying for Chloe anyways. Literally, the hospital basically said send her home, but you can't send someone home even if they go there because, like Chloe's mom said, Chloe's mom's done her research out there in Ohio, even though we've called all these places, same roadblocks. Oh, you need 90 to 180 days. Well, she can go and get treatment. She can go get food stamps. but she'd be under her mom, and her mom basically said, one wrong move, Chloe's on the street. So, she's like, please, reconsider, and Chloe's got, this close, and the lady already said she'd rubber stamp on the medical because Chloe's mentally ill, and so I was like, okay. So I basically turned around and said, okay, so what's going to happen now is we are going to basically plan for this appointment for the Social Security thing and go to Wenatchee. So, and then, like I said, I got to restart my desktop. I got projects to do, but I figured I would do a short video, just short. If Jess is watching this, I'm fine and dandy. I just deleted my Facebook. I'm using Twitter right now. I did post something on Twitter. The other thing is me and Chloe's been watching religious movies. Religious movies actually comforts me, and the good Lord, He'll get me through everything, and not that anything's happened. It was just the good Lord, He's got His own things. Literally contacted Poppy last night and said, hey, I'll be on course with you on Mondays usually, and he's like, okay, I hope everything's okay, and I'm like, yeah, it's fine, just I'll let him know things on Monday, but Poppy's one of those that's skeptical anyways, on a lot of things. He's like a bunny, basically. He's like skittish, he's just like Aaron. Aaron and Poppy were like really skittish, and I'm getting that way too. So to me, I'm very, but I'm doing all right for any of you out there. I know Jess wants these videos to be under 20 minutes, so I think I can get it done for today's. Tomorrow's plan is more gaming and movies and barbecued ribs again. I know it's bad for the heart, but it's what's on sale, and I picked up plenty of ribs. I got ribs. Chloe made a mistake. I got to tell you about Chloe. So I made up some chicken tenders the other day in the oven, and we ate the bag, and Chloe's like, oh, I want some nuggets. So I made some nuggets. Then I took the nuggets because I went out and bought another thing. I only buy Ziploc bags, gallon bags, when we run low. So I'm one of those that I don't literally buy them unless we're out. So I'm one of these that if we're completely out. The only purchases I got to make this month is more shaving cream, some razor blades, and some dish soap. And I can get the dish soap cheap on Amazon, so I'll just have Amazon ship it out 2 day. So we're good on dish soap. Shaving cream, same thing. And then the razor blades, well, I'm just going to find something base temporarily until I can get to Walmart. Because, the next time I go to Walmart's in March. And right before my trip to Wenatchee. So, and yeah, Chloe's going with me to Wenatchee, more likely, because like her mom said, if there's no help for her in any states right now, then her mom said she can get her on transfer food stamps, will take 1 to 2 weeks, and then her Medicaid. But then again, it'll take a month just for her to get settled, and she's like, with this close, doing it now. I know I can send her out at any time, her mom said. So technically, but right now I'm kind of concerned with, everything going on. I know I was telling Melissa, Chloe's plan was to leave, but, like the advocate said, I didn't think the advocate was right. That's the thing. The advocates, I need to, honestly, I got to listen to them more because they're like, it's going to be a long shot for you to get in anywhere in any of these states, but give it a try. So here's a list, and we called nothing. And so, long shot. So the lady basically said, don't, the lady said you might be, either this or this, but I was kind of disappointed, honestly. I was like, yeah, and, that was the only disappointment yesterday that I had, literally, because, and Poppy's email was disappointing. It was like, okay, I'll see you on Monday. And it was like, what? I didn't say much, and I know Jess is probably sitting there going, but, he usually messages me going like, oh, how goes it? But, he knows I'm on YouTube, so he can find me there. Jose knows I'm YouTube. Jose, if you're watching this, there's going to be a letter being mailed out to you on Monday, so you'll have a letter, and another Valentine's card. I hope you're doing all right. My heart goes out to you. But yeah, anyways, with me basically doing what I'm doing, it's not a good idea right now because I am literally, you know, uh, just getting prepared for my projects. I know Chloe's resting her back. My back's mostly hurting more because, my family got me this little shopping cart, and going up hills empty is fine. Going up hills when it's fully loaded is out. It's a strain on my back. So, anyways, I don't want to run too long today. Like I said, I got my projects to do, cleaning to do, Guild Wars 2 to do. I'm gonna be doing fine. People ask me about these personal projects. They always ask me, well, what's the spreadsheets? They're personal goals, okay? They're like, some of them are like the budget, and others is personal goals, and some of them are personal totals and personal things that I want that I'm working towards slowly, which, as you all know, sometimes I need to basically bite it in a life in the ass and or let life kick me in the ass and just go ahead and do things like buy towels. I need to I need to buy towels. I need to get, more underwear and socks. Today was supposed to be laundry day, but I doubt we'll get it done today because Chloe's back. So, but we'll see, but we have 4 rolls of quarters. We're good. I finally just decided, and then I mean, my advocate, I don't know if I told you guys this, my advocate was funny. Literally, it was funny. Go in there, and she's like, the household essentials, and I'm like, yeah, well, I got to go to the power company, see if they can give me a deal on light bulbs. She pulls out this thing, it's like 6 spiral light bulbs. She's like, here you go. And I was like, cool. She's like, got laundry detergent? I says, I don't know. She gave me this giant thing. It's like a 2-gallon jug. She's like, these were donated for families, but you can have it. Oh, you can have some shirts too. And I'm like, okay. So, that was Thursday. So she basically was really cool. She's like, don't worry. And I was like, I feel like I'm a mooch, And she's like, you're not a mooch. She says, you're taking care of Chloe. Why do you think we helped you at Christmas and Thanksgiving with all the hams and turkeys? You're not a mooch. You're struggling. I mean, literally, I forgot to mention the medicine thing, but oh well, but life isn't bad, as Poppy said, okay. Poppy said the other day, we were talking about Chloe's problem, and I'm going to close out with this thought. So I was telling him about, he knows everything Chloe's done to me in the past, how Chloe hasn't had lower surgery and is always upset about implants and facial surgery. And Poppy said, if you believe in the Lord and you do right, God's always with you and gives you blessings. But if you do wrong all the time and so forth and so on, you get blessed by Satan. So there you have it, and I keep thinking about what he said, and it's like, well, the good Lord has blessed me well, and in anything and everything, I got to thank the Lord for the blessings that he's given me, literally, and that's the thing. God's with me. There's people out there that are not God-fearing people that, they have their own ideas, they have their own thoughts, and me and Dad were ministers. Dad's like, look, you're open-minded, you do weddings for gays and lesbians, trans, you're open-minded, you're looking after Chloe, you're the only one trying to help Chloe, and Chloe, is done so many wrongs, but you're trying to correct her and you're trying to teach her. And then he says, look around. He says, there's people out there that worship money. If they don't have money, they're worshiping money. If they don't have, they worship shoes, or they worship bras or panties or tights or whatever. They just worship. And he said, those are the people that you need to avoid. They're basically the toxic ones that think about worshiping only money and materials, I mean, yeah, I can see where he's coming from, So my closing thought is, think about it. The Lord blesses those who do righteous, and Satan blesses those who do wrong. And, when someone does something wrong, Satan blesses them. It's basically a balance of good versus evil, plain and simple. So Poppy's like, with me, anyone who's considered a saint is part of Christianity, and a saint does good and looks after the sick, looks after the elderly, looks after, I said, what about the people that don't believe in God that still do that? And he said, well, they'll be judged accordingly anyways. But anyone who does all the good anyways and doesn't believe in God won't be saved. So, it's just, and Chloe's reading her Bible more, and it makes me happy, and I also want to say I'm also reading it more, because with everything going on, Poppy's like, there's a time, and Poppy always quotes Ecclesiastes 3. There's a time and place for everything, time to die, time to live, time to build up, time to tear down, yada yada yada. And so, to look at it from that point of view, I'm just like, you know what? If I can, nuns can do this, I can do it as well. And I've always believed in Ecclesiastics. I remember hubby always basically saying stuff about the religious aspects of stuff, like you go and stay with your Bible, but I think before he died, he got the gist of it, and he was saved. So to me, I think it's pretty cool. So with that said, everyone, I just want to say, I hope you have a great day. I better get to my projects because Guild Wars 2 is calling me and Diablo 3 is calling me. I'm just going to loaf around after getting the cleaning done. And, I just want you guys to chew on that for a while. What Poppy said, Ecclesiastic 3 is right on the money. He also was talking about the fruit of the Spirit and versus the life of the Spirit versus the fleshy nature of sin, which is in Galatians 5:16 to, I think it's 5:32 or something. So, the Poppy's completely right. If you do good, and et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot of people out there. I was talking to a friend of mine who I ran into today who's like, look, when you live in a world where you have a lot of problems, you live in a world where there's a lot of drama, you got to cut the drama out. And I've been living in a world where there's too much drama on Facebook. So it was a blessing anyways to get rid of it. And the longer I go without thinking of Facebook, the longer I will personally go ahead and remove myself from Facebook because I don't need Facebook. I mean, look at Poppy. He goes on once in a while, and then he's like, yeah, boring, boring, boring. Me, I made a post, recently. I told him I'll go use Twitter from time to time. I'll tweet from once in a while, but and I look at a bigger picture, a bigger picture, and, I got to remember where some people sit there like me and my friend were saying, the drama is accumulated, but in the end, what do we get out of it? Just more misery. So to me, let's just see how well I can get my masteries up. I know it won't be as good as Chloe for a long time because she's played it longer than me, but it took me 3 years to get to mastering all the maps on the vanilla project, which were free. So I'm ready to move on. I'm also looking at, just to let you know, gaming-wise, to get Elder Scrolls Online, which means I need to get a controller calibrated, which I'm seeing if the Xbox One controller will work, because I will use that to play Elder Scrolls 3, 4, and 5. I also plan to get the mods and use those, like Sky Oblivion and Skyger Fall and Skyowind, or Skywind, So to me, let's see what happens. God's with me. As long as I remember God's with me, and I can clearly state that God's with me, and He'll get me through everything. Like the Bible says, as long as God is with you, aka Jesus, you're fine. So there you have it. Chew on that for a while. I'm going to do more religious posts. I'm trying not to swear either because people are complaining about my potty mouth more. So, with that said, everyone, please add and subscribe. Please post comments. Please leave feedback, suggestion. Hit that like, subscribe button. It's wholesome funding for your family, including your bunnies, your dogs, your cats. And thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Captain's Log out. USS Excelsior, NCC 77245. This transmission ends now.